Hello, ladies, and welcome back to Get 'em Girl, a girl's guide to relationships, femininity, dating, polarity, and attraction. Okay, so today's going to be a fun video for me because I know my ladies have been asking about this, and this is how do we communicate in a feminine way to our man? So how do you operate in conversation? How do you speak to him in a way that feels feminine to him, that kind of ignites his masculinity? How do we do that? Okay, and so I just want to jump into what you need to be doing before you are having interactions and communication with your man, okay? Because it's so important to be in the right energy, ladies. When we are speaking to our man, especially in situations where we have a request, especially in situations where we're needing to have a deeper conversation with him, we need to be in the right energy before we even go into these conversations. So coming in from the hustle and bustle and being exhausted and tired and your attitude ain't right is not the correct space to be approaching your interactions with your man. It's not the right space to be approaching, especially deeper conversations with him. You want to get in the right space first. Even if that means when you come in, you're like, listen, babe, I just need about 15 to 30 minutes to just kind of get my head right. Love you, mwah, mwah, but I just need some time for me really quickly. Go ahead and do that, because what you'll find is if you can approach more of your interactions with your softness and your femininity, you will have a lot better outcome when it comes to dealing with your man and communicating with him. Okay, ladies? So my first thing is, don't approach your conversations, your interactions from a place of lack, okay? From a place of exhaustion, from a place of not being in your feminine space, because you need that to get the outcomes that you want. So go and do what you need to do to feed into you. If you need a quiet space for about 30 minutes, just so you can let go of all the things from outside, do that. If you need to take you a shower and get your smell goods going and kind of just detox from the day, do that. But get yourself in your soft space and do it beforehand. Give to yourself before you go to him about anything. And this is kind of starting out, okay, learning how to communicate with him in a more feminine way, because as time goes on and you fine tune that muscle to where when you come into the house, you're able to drop that a lot quicker and you're able to kind of transition into that softness. It'll be easier. You may not need as much time, but starting out, definitely give yourself the space that you need. Give yourself whatever treatments and things that you need to get into that soft space. You want to be there before you get into any deep interaction with him or any deep conversations. You need that for you. It's not just for him. You're doing it for you because you don't want to approach any situations, any conversations that you may have from a place of lack. So once you've kind of gotten yourself into that soft space, you've taken care of you, you've given to yourself a little bit, you're coming from a feminine space, you're in your abundance, you're feeling soft, the way that you speak to him, not what you say, but the way, your tone of voice, your mannerisms, the way that you approach him in your interaction and your communication is also important. Okay, ladies, you still want to make sure that you, even if you have a request from him, even if you're asking for something from him, you still want to be approaching those things, for one, with your abundance and your femininity, but for two, while treating him like the man that you know he is. Okay, ladies, so even if there's something that you need for him to do, something he hasn't done, if you are with this man and you vetting him and he's doing the things he needs to do, you still need to approach him in a way that speaks to the man that he is to you. Right, ladies? Speak to him as the man who's already fulfilled whatever request you have. Okay, speak to him like the man who's already communicated thoroughly with you and understands you and gotten to know you on a deeper level. Speak to him like the man that he's proven himself to be. Not out of your lack. Don't speak to him as a man who you need to do something. Don't speak to him like a man who hasn't done whatever. If he has shown himself, speak to him like the man who gets things done. So in that sense, you're imagine how you would speak to him if you had just asked him for something and he went out, he did it, he came back and it's done. Imagine how you would speak to him. Imagine that softness that you would feel, that intimacy that you would probably feel towards him. Imagine that kindness and that genuine response that you would give him, that softness that you would let him experience from having done what it is that you needed done or being who it is you needed him to be. Imagine that soft space. You want to approach your conversations and interactions with him from that space as if it's already done, as if it's already provided for. Speak to him in that way. Let him experience your femininity before you even have that conversation, as you're going into that conversation, in the language you use, in the way that you respect him in your language. Speak to him out of that softness. In that space where I'm provided for, I'm abundant already, you've already done all the things. I'm going to speak to you a little bit differently because I know you're the man who gets things done, and that's who I want to speak to, the man who gets things done. Okay, ladies, that tone of voice matters. Your mannerisms, being open to him. Okay, it's okay to stroke his shoulder or his head and be soft and kind of playful in conversation. Be feminine in your conversations and your mannerisms. It's okay to be that way. Even if you're coming to ask him for something, it's okay to treat him as if he's the man who's already done it. Okay, ladies, and they're going to respond. Men are going to respond to that a whole lot better than you coming to him as if you need something and it's like he's never done anything for you before because right now this is the thing you need. Right, ladies? They're going to respond to that a lot better. Use your softness, use your mannerisms, use your tone of voice to also guide the conversation in a more feminine way. Okay, ladies? And then here's the thing. Before we get into feminine phrasing, I also need you to prepare yourself mentally to be willing to listen to him. Okay? And I say that because if you're listening to him, he could say the very thing or come up with the very idea that you're actually needing from him in the first place. And guess what? He's going to be even more apt to do it because he feels like it was his idea. Listen for those cues of him leaning into the things that you want. Listen to the cues of him discussing what he wants for y'all. Listen to him because if he responds to you in something that leans towards what you want to be able to give him a really good response to that because that's positive feedback. So we want to make sure that we're prepared to listen to him because especially if it's his idea, I'm sorry, ladies, but this is how it is. If it's his idea, he's going to be more apt to go after it because he feels like this is my idea. I want to do this for her and I'm going to go do it because I said I was. And you just get to be the excited little princess on the side who's giggling. Although you know the whole time that that's what you wanted in the first place, the fact that it's his idea makes it even better. Right, ladies? So be prepared to also listen to your man. Listen thoroughly. Give him positive feedback. Give him cues that you're understanding what he's saying. Repeating back what he's saying to him. Be prepared to be in that soft space and be listening as well as using your feminine language to get your point across. Okay? And so since we've reached feminine language, let's talk about phrasing in these conversations. Right? Let's talk about how we get points across in a feminine way. So I think we all know our I feel phrases. Okay. So you make me feel so whatever when you do this thing, or I feel so whatever when this happens. I feel like the luckiest girl in the world when you do ABC. I think we have a good idea of those I feel things are going to speak more to the emotion of you as a woman than saying, I think you should just do this and this and this. I feel like if you were to do this, it may make me feel this way. That's okay. Okay. And use your emotion words when you're speaking, ladies. I'm so happy that you decided to spend the evening with me, with just you and me, without going out, without answering your phone. It makes me feel like the luckiest girl in the world. I feel so good when you come and you surprise me with this, because I'm never expecting it, and I just think it's the sweetest thing. It's great to speak from emotion. It's actually great to speak from emotion, ladies. I know the world has told us that it's kind of crazy to don't lock down your emotions and all that kind of stuff. No, it's great to speak from a place of emotion when you have emotional control. Okay, ladies, if you know how to control your emotions and just speak from your emotion in a way that he hears you, that's actually an amazing thing, even if it's negative emotion sometimes. Sometimes if you need to express where you're not happy with something and he did something that actually was not the right thing, I just feel disappointed that you decided to do this and this and this instead of what we discussed, because I feel a little neglected. I feel like you didn't really consider me. It's okay to express emotion when you can control your emotions. Okay, ladies, so use your emotion words. Let him know how you feel about something. Let him know how that whatever is going on affected how you feel. Okay, ladies, it's better to do that than to be like, you never do this, this, and this. I hate this and this. Like, you never. It's better than that. Okay, it's okay to express displeasure if you can control your emotions. The biggest thing in these conversations is emotional control. If you can control your emotions, you can speak to them a little bit better than acting out on them. Okay, ladies, use your emotion in conversation. Use the art of suggestion in conversation, especially if he is a man who has done something and you want him to continue doing it and getting better at it. It's great when you can be like, do you remember when you bought me those dozen roses? Oh my gosh, I think it was like a random Tuesday. I was so excited. I took pictures of them. I sent them to my friends. It was amazing. Times like that make me feel so whatever. It's okay to suggest something, especially if he's done it before, to kind of give him that inkling that that's something you want done again. Okay? Because when he goes to do it, it's not like you said, hey, I want you to buy me flowers. You said, I just feel so amazing when I get flowers on a random like that. Felt so good. I love the idea of you showing up and you brought food for the night and I don't have to worry about cooking and we can just relax and enjoy the night. I love that. I love the idea of that, or I love when you do that. Use your emotion, ladies. Use your art of suggestion, your art of persuasion in these conversations. Okay, ladies? And then if it's something he's doing, like I said, that you wasn't quite feeling, it's okay to sandwich that thing up. Give him a good, give him a bad, give him a good again. See, I typically know you to be a guy who does what he says he's going to do. Like, you've always been that to me. So the fact that you actually did this instead, I don't know. I just feel so disappointed by it. But I know you're better than that. Like, I know that you typically don't do things like that. I know that that's not really the man you are. Sandwich it. Sandwich your disappointment if that's what you need to express. Good. I know you're not the man who typically does this. I know you're a man to be of your word. I know you to be a man that follows through on the things you're going to say, that you say you're going to do. That's the good. So it makes me feel disappointed that you decided to go off and do this. I did not expect that from you, because typically we're going to give him the good again. You are the man who does these things. You are the man who follows through. You are the man who has proven himself to be this. The sandwich will help you every time, especially when you're expressing displeasure with something. Sandwich that thing up. And especially if you can speak to the man that you actually know him to be, and this is something that's out of character, you need to show that contrast. Well, this is the man that I know you are. This is the man that you've proven yourself to be, but you're doing this thing, and that does not line up with this. So I'm going to put these together and sandwich them so that you can see that contrast and see that you're not being what you're supposed to be to me. It's okay to do that, ladies. It's okay to point out where he was right before, where he's fallen off now, but where that you ultimately know his baseline is, which is to be right, to be good. But right now he's doing something out of character. It's great to do that, actually. Okay? And honestly, when it comes to asking for things, if this is a conversation where you need something from him, ladies, ask. It doesn't have to be this whole thing. If you need something from him and you need it today, and this is not a suggestion thing to where you're just trying to get him to express certain behaviors over time, but you actually need something in the moment, it's okay to be like, okay, babe, I'm feeling a little stressed out. I got this, and this going on. It would really help me if you would just do whatever this thing is. Like, you're one of the few people that I can depend on to get whatever this is done. You're the only person I know that can really get this done. I can't go to anybody else for this thing. So I really need you to do it. It would help me out. I would feel so much better about it if you would just kind of take the reins on this thing. I need help. Just ask. Sometimes it's just that simple. If you need money, ladies, if you need some money, it's okay to just ask. And sometimes, like, if it's a money thing or something like that, sometimes it's just cool to just ask, ladies. Like, put your little feminine spin on it. As a matter of fact, I have a perfect example of this. It was the cutest thing. I seen this video. This lady, she was getting ready to go out with her friend girl for drinks, right? So she goes up to her husband and she says, honey, can I have your debit card for drinks tonight so that if a man asks to buy me a drink, I can just be like, my man's already covering it. And he was like, here you go. Sometimes it's just the creativity. Like, it's not even about a specific set of words that you say. It's about approaching the conversation in that femininity. And in that, you will know how to make him feel like a man in the process. Because now it's not just, hey, can I have some money? Now it's like, well, you are the provider and protector and the masculine force in my life. I mean, could you do this thing for me? Because, I mean, that's who you are to me anyway. You know, it's not like, hey, I just want the money. It's, no, I want you to be the one who provides for me. I don't want it to be anybody else. And since I'm in need of this thing, I would think that you would be my provider, right? Yeah. So that's a very cute example. I thought that was the cutest thing. And so it's okay, ladies, to kind of veer from the script. I'm not saying you have to say these exact words, but what I am saying to you is get yourself into a feminine space first where you can be soft and you can be gentle with him and you can speak up to him like the man that you know he is, and you can be genuine in that. Because if you can get yourself in the energy of that when you're having these conversations, the biggest thing is you'll naturally start to use a more feminine language with him. Especially if he's like, honestly, I don't speak about anything but masculine men on this channel. A masculine man is going to respond to that really well. As long as you get yourself into that right energy, drop all that baggage from the day and get into that feminine space when you're having these conversations with him, you're going to end up using your feminine language. You're going to end up talking to him in a soft way. You're not even going to need to really just follow a script, because the energy in which you're speaking to him is going to come from a feminine space to where you can kind of honestly just spitball this thing and talk to him, because you're genuinely in a feminine space. You're not faking it. You're not coming in from a hard day and saying, hey, I'm gonna just use my feminine words. Okay, I feel like you this. No, like, get yourself into a actual feminine space. Get soft. Okay, ladies, get into that mindset, get into that energy, let your hair down, and then have these interactions, because you'll find that a lot of this is naturally in you anyway. You're just not in the right energy. That's really the gist of this thing. And use, yes, your I feel and your emotion words, and use like your little sandwich to give them the good, the bad, the good. Use those things. Those are tools. But intuitively, once you allow yourself to get into the right space and mindset and that softness, you're going to start to say things to him that there's not even a script for, but it's coming from a feminine space, because you're genuinely in a feminine space. Okay, ladies? So exercise these things in conversation and interaction. Get soft around him. Okay? Give to yourself so that you can give him that softness. Don't be afraid to ask him for the things that you need, not because you're coming from a place of lack, not coming from a place necessarily of displeasure and you're mad at him, but coming from a space of femininity and you have a provider on your side and you want him to provide. Period. So if you have any other questions about being feminine, specifically like with your man though, or specifically with, the person that's to be, go ahead and leave those down in the comments below so that I can address them at a later date. And y'all enjoy. We're going into the weekend. Enjoy your weekend, okay, ladies? See you in the next episode. Bye.